Hello there guys, welcome back to Blues Fans TV for yet another Champions League match preview of mine as Chelsea are to take on Stade Rennais at Stamford Bridge tomorrow evening on Wednesday evening, with the kickoff being at 8 PM UK time. And there is a lot to talk about today rather. Who will / should Frank Lampard rest, is if of course anyone at all. How good of an opponent actually are Rennes, and what about Christian Pulisic's fitness situation? Before getting into all of that, please make sure to subscribe to Blues Fans TV if you haven't already. That'd be massively appreciated. And make sure you smash that like button right now for me. It cheers me up a lot. It helps us push these videos out to more people. And come on, it doesn't cost you any time. I was going to say barely cost you any money, but it doesn't cost you any money at all. It just, helps us out a lot. So please go do that. That'd be massively appreciated. And of course, subscribe to my personal channel as well. The link is down in the description below, or if you click the I button up there and you can see it on screen as well. I do more in-depth analysis of every single game the day after every single game. It's very interactive. I get you guys involved, your thoughts, your comments, your opinions. So make sure you subscribe to that so you don't miss out on any of those videos, those live streams. That'd be massively appreciated. And before getting into the video itself, let me just quickly shout out our sponsors, which today is actually Chelsea. So download the official Chelsea app, the Fifth Stand app, and predict tomorrow's score for a bit of fun and a chance to win huge prizes from the club in the Play Predictor. More info and the link are down in the description below. So check it out. That'd be massively appreciated. And of course, as usual, do pre-order Football Manager 21 with the link in the description. Get it early, pretty much just for being a Chelsea fan, and get 10% off using the code BluesFansTV. And also, if you want to order any of the new Chelsea gear, make sure you use the other link down in the description below and use our promo code READY for up to 30% off selected items. But enough of that now, more than enough of that now. Let's get into the video, let's get into the preview. And as always, starting it off with the team news that Frank Lampard provided in his pre-match press conference. And the boss did give us some information about Christian Pulisic, and he did confirm that the American has thankfully only suffered a very minor injury to his hamstring, which was revealed by the scan that he had, and actually said that the players are already back in training, won't be fit for the game tomorrow, and we'll have to wait and see after that, but it will definitely not be for long. Maybe he'll still miss the game of the weekend, but unless of course something happens and there's a setback, he should be back after the international break, which of course is great news. But sadly, none of the journalists actually asked whether there are any other injuries within the squad, so we simply don't know. But I guess we just have to assume everyone else is fine, considering that's what Lampard said to us before the Burnley game. So, with that said, with all of that information, let's get into the team that I myself would field, which you will be able to see on this side of the screen, and then my predicted 11 over on this side. And like on Friday, let's get the obvious ones out of the way first in my team. Of course, Edouard Mendy has to be in goal, and Thiago Silva has to be one of the two centre-backs, and Zuma has to be the centre-back next to him, although I have no idea which way around they'll actually play. So I guess because against Burnley was Silva at left centre-back and Zuma at right centre-back, I'll go with that. And probably I even think that's the smarter way, but because we did it differently in other games, it still confused me against Burnley. And obviously, Ben Chilwell has to be a left-back. At right-back, I would personally go for Reece James. I think he was too good against Burnley to leave out tomorrow night. So that's why he stays in the team. And formation-wise, I'm sticking to the 4-3-3 with 1 DM and 2 8s. I think we have to stick to that. I don't think the system will work against every single opponent, especially if they're very good and high pressing and we have Kante in that position. But I'm very confident that it will work against Stade Rennais. So Kante does remain at the base of the midfield. Mason Mount stays in the side as well after a brilliant performance. But in my team, he moves over to the right central midfield spot, because rather than Kai Havertz, I would start Mateo Kovacic in that LCM role. Like you see in the title, of course, I said Kai Havertz and Timo Werner should be rested, so that was a bit of a spoiler for you. Because even though, okay, let me just get that straight, even though I know Kovacic isn't perfectly suited to this position and doesn't give us what Kai gives us, Havertz just needs a rest in my opinion. Other than the League Cup game against Spurs, and that is a while ago now already, Havertz has started every single game for Chelsea this season. Give the poor guy a rest, honestly. Really do. And I'm just saying Mason Mount over on the right and Kovacic on the left side, because Mount is much more comfortable moving out to the wing when Ziyech, who, spoiler, is my right winger in my team, moves inside, which we know he does a lot and he likes to do. So that's the simple explanation for that. And now coming to that said front three, like I already said, Ziyech on the right wing, but who should start on the left with Christian Pulisic injured? Timo Werner or Hudson-Odoi? Well, again, a bit of a spoiler in the title, I guess. I would personally give Werner the rest that he was meant to get against Burnley already, until, of course, Christian Pulisic picked up that injury in the warm-up. So I would personally start Callum Hudson-Odoi. Even if his performance against Krasnodar wasn't like incredible, he still scored the most important goal of the night, because making it 1-0 is always the most important goal of the night, especially if you end up winning the game 4-0. So I think Hudson-Odoi gets another start. And then up front, we have to stick to Tammy Abraham, in my opinion. He's improved a lot, if you ask me, and has played well whenever he's been called upon this season. So why would you not play him? I was very happy with him so far. But, you know, that is the team that I myself would field. And now coming to my predicted 11. And I'm unsure about a lot of things because I'm really not sure what Frank is going to do. But in the end, what I decided was most likely is that he'll actually go for pretty much the same team as myself. Could be very wrong, but that's what I actually think is the most likely, bar the fact that I think he'll start Azpilicueta over Reece James, as you can, of course, see over there. And, I mean, I say that, okay, 4-3-3, I think he's going to do that, and I think he's going to play Kovacic in an 8 role and stuff, but I could still very much so see Frank going back to a 4-2-3-1, mainly to rest Havertz, because I do think he wants to do that as well. Same with Timo Werner. Whether that would then be a pivot of Kovacic and Kante, or Jorginho and Kante, and then Mount as the 10, doesn't really matter. I could see him doing that. But I still think it's more likely that he'll actually go for the 4-3-3 again, like myself, because I think he's very happy with how it worked in the last 2 games as well. I'm just not sure he thinks Kovacic can do that job. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But like I said, you know, same midfield as myself, as you can see, of course. But I could also see him sticking to Mount and Havertz as the 2-8 in all honesty, and maybe hoping that Kai will get a bit of a rest when he's with the German national team. Still travel, but maybe not play all the games. So, you know, maybe that's his hope. I don't know. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. As for the game itself, in all honesty, I just want to see the exact same thing that we did against Burnley. That performance was near on perfect, if not actually perfect. Fully concentrated at the back, pretty much for the 90 minutes, bar 1 or 2 small lapses of concentration. But that happens, and especially if you don't concede from it, that's kind of fine. And it's just so good to see what an improvement Thiago Silva has been to our team. We just seem to be prepared for almost anything. The combination of Thiago Silva and Mendy coming in has just given us so much, and especially Thiago Silva against Man United, I was always alert, always concentrated, always getting in the right positions. It's just beautiful to see. And as for the attacking play, moving the ball well and quickly, moving players around, not just being stood still all the bloody time, which we've seen way too many times last season, also this season already, filling gaps in the half spaces, switching positions, and then in the end, you know, being clinical and scoring goals. That's what I want to see, and that's what we did against Burnley. And let me not forget about the pressing. That was great, and that I want to see again. And if Kovacic does play in that rather attacking 8 position, even if I do think he'll be more defensive than Mason Mount, I really hope he goes and proves me wrong in my belief that he's not all that suited for that position. Because if he can be all that suited, and if he can be perfectly suited to that position, that would, you know, help Frank and the team out massively, because then we have actually 3 proper players to play in that position regularly when we need to. So, you know, it would help out a lot. Because, you know, we need to be good. We need to be good because Stade Rennais are nowhere near as bad of a team and as easy of an opponent as some people, for some reason, seem to think. So let's talk about them. Because in Ligue 1, in the French league, of course, they currently sit in 3rd. Also their position they finished last season in. And they're currently just 3 points of PSG, who are top. So a great start to the season for Rennes. And the main difference compared to last season is the amount of goals they've conceded. Which, when the league was curtailed after 28 games last year, or last season rather, in March, Rennes had conceded the joint 2nd lowest amount of goals with 24 goals conceded. But now, after just 9 games played this season, they've already conceded 11 goals. So that is hugely different. You could almost say they seem to have lost a really good goalkeeper. Shocker that. In case you forgot, Chelsea did sign Edouard Mendy from Stade Rennais. So that's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at. But also, I say the biggest change was conceding goals. Another big change was scoring goals, because unlike last season, they are now scoring way more goals, with so far the 2nd most amount of goals scored in the entirety of the league. So, they're not a team to underestimate. In the Champions League, they sit on just 1 point after 2 games so far, which they got in their 1-1 draw against Krasnodar, while losing 1-0 away to Sevilla last week. Although that result, in all honesty, does not tell the full story. I won't lie, and I didn't watch the full game because obviously, well, they didn't actually play at the same time as us. But, there was many games going on. Wasn't particularly watching that, but I watched back very much so extended highlights and looked at a lot of the stats, and Sevilla had all of the ball, all of the chances, and even hit the woodwork like 2 or 3 times, but just couldn't get the ball over the line except once. Hence why the game ended just 1-0. But Sevilla were very much so on top for the entirety of that game. Tactics wise, Rennes have used all sorts of different formations already this season, so very difficult to predict on that front, whether it was 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, 4-1-4-1, all sorts of different things. So very difficult to predict, as well as picking out a danger man for them, because They have 3 players who have already scored 3 league goals this season, so very difficult to pick one guy to focus on. But what I found most interesting when I did the research about them ahead of this video was that against Sevilla, like I said already, they had just 34% of the ball. When on average in the league this season, they've had 61% of the ball, which is the second highest number, topped only by PSG, which is very interesting that it was so drastically different. Of course, against Krasnodar, they had a majority of possession, I think. Obviously, they hadn't played PSG in Ligue 1, and I'm sure PSG would have the majority of possession in that game. But to be a team that usually has over 60% of the ball in the league games, to then only have 34% of it against Sevilla did surprise me a little bit. So it will be very interesting whether they'll take a more defensive approach like against Sevilla, or rather try to keep the ball and create chances themselves like they usually do against us tomorrow night. That will be very interesting. But even though they are a better team than a lot of you might have thought, especially considering they only came out of pot 4 in the Champions League draw, I still think Chelsea will get the win. And I actually think we'll get a rather comfortably win at that. And I think resting Werner and Havertz, if we do so, would and will hamper our chance creation a little bit, but I still believe we'll be able to keep another clean sheet and win the game 2-0, which of course I'm pretty sure all of us would be very happy with. But to be honest, guys, that has really been it for me. I really do appreciate every single one of you that has tuned in today. Like I said in the beginning already, be sure to subscribe to Blues Fans TV if you haven't yet, Help us reach 150k, then 200,000 subscribers. Along the way, drop a like if you enjoyed this video, drop a like if you're excited for the game tomorrow, and just if you want to make me happy, just drop that like button. And if you want to make me even happier, make sure you subscribe to my personal channel, to which the link is down in the description, or if you click that I button up there, come join me for those more in-depth, analysis videos of every single game today after every single game. So make sure you tune in for those and subscribe. That'd be brilliant. And just lastly, let me shout out our sponsors one last time. Do pre-order Football Manager 21 with the link in the description. Get it early and get 10% off using the code BluesFansTV. And also, if you want to order any of the new Chelsea kits, and some of those are proper sick in my opinion, make sure you use the other link down in the description and use our promo code READY for up to 30% off selected items. But yeah, to be honest, guys, that has really been it from me. I really do appreciate every single one of you that has tuned in. Thank you guys for watching. Excited for the game tomorrow. And, up to Chelsea. And I'll see you when I see you.